Awesome. So good morning. My name is Kia Palmer. I am the director of the Colorado Veterans Business Outreach Center at Mount Carmel. So welcome to our Veterans and Small Business class. So ultimately today we're going to talk about small business. What does that mean? Whether you're in the idea phase, if you are growing your business, or if you want to rebuild your business. We're going to talk about the SBA. We're going to talk about what the Office of Veterans Business Development is. And then, am I even ready to start my business? What are the steps? What are the tools? What are the resources that are available to me? So before we get started, again, my name is Kia Palmer. I am a small business owner here in Colorado. I have an e-commerce business. So it is great to do a lot of pop-up shops. It helps me just meet different people in different environments, and I absolutely love it. That's a little bit about me. We're going to go around. If you'll give your name and the name of your business or your idea. You don't have to disclose like intellectual property type stuff, but you can say like I did e-commerce, or you can say I own this bakery and I specialize in filled croissants or something of this sort. So we'll start here.
Yeah, so Dante Bartolo, building coordinator, also do business on the site called Art Pueblo, and we do marketing for local Pueblo businesses, Pueblo history, kind of combat the negative stigma sometimes this place on Pueblo.
Awesome. And we'll go to the back of the room.
Yes, well, hello, my name is Christina Diaz. I'm the coordinator here at the Pueblo Latino. I don't have a business, but if I was to open up one, it would be a flower shop. Because I love flowers, so that would be something that.
Okay. Awesome.
Hi, everybody. My name is Aiden Martinez. I'm the membership and events intern for the Latino Chamber of Commerce. And I currently do not have my own business or a specific idea, but I would like to be.
Awesome. And that's where it starts. So we'll come up to the front of the room and then we'll go online if there's anyone there. Yeah, should be. Is it Melvin in the waiting room? Okay, so if you'll introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah Maru. I am the VBOC instructor, so the next time around I will be here for that. So before this role, I did a lot of project management and consulting, and if I were to open up a business, it would probably be for like construction project management consulting. Just because I love that work.
Awesome. So with that, pop quiz. What % of Colorado's small businesses do you think are owned by veterans? No, you can't look at the slides. No, but the answer is not in your folders. It is not.
Yes,
60%. So you think 60% of the small businesses in Colorado are owned by veterans? Okay.
My guess would be 30% as well. However, I don't want to get like shocked when it's like something like 78 or something.
All right. What do you think?
I'm not allowed to answer that question.
You've seen the slides. Okay, so it's actually 7.2%.
Oh, wow.
Still shocked,
It is. I like the little effects too, But yes, so small businesses do make a large percentage. If you think of 7 out of I won't say 7 out of 10 businesses, but 7 per 100 are going to be veteran owned. When you think about that, there are things that come with a certified veteran-owned small business. We always talk about the different categories. So I'm going to pause right there, and we're going to go through Mount Carmel first because I'm going to get to that when we start talking about SBA. So Veteran Business Outreach Center is hosted by Mount Carmel Veterans Service Center. So there is a location here in Pueblo off of Orman Avenue. But what we do are multiple services for veterans. Our goal is to be of service. If there's any area that you're needing assistance with, we do health and wellness. We also do Greet and Connect, which means when you come in, we're going to connect you with resources, whether it's what we provide in-house as far as in Mount Carmel through our various programs, or if we need to refer you to one of our community partners, like the Pueblo Latino Chamber of Commerce, and that's what we're going to do. We also have transition and employment. So for example, we have a program coming up called Pathway to Business. It's specifically for military spouses, and we'll be working with our transition and employment team for those military spouses. Transitioning can be difficult for our service members as well as their family members. So for service members, you'll also see with VBOC, we'll talk about a little bit later, but our Boots to Business program, or our Reboot. We have our military veteran and family services program. As entrepreneurs, mainly I would say with people that are starting up or when you start to grow, all right? Or even with COVID, we had some businesses that are now rebuilding. Sometimes you can put so much money into your business that you realize at the end of the day, my light bill was due 2 weeks ago. I don't have money for the Thanksgiving dinner. What do we do? So that's why I'm so excited that Mount Carmel hosts the VBOC, because with military veteran family services, we have the opportunity to provide those social services type support to our clients and their families. We also have Next Chapter, which is a program, which is a partnership with UC Health to help prevent suicide. So we want to educate the community. We want to provide behavioral health services. We want to make sure that we're educating people on how to intervene, like an intervention, or even just education to say there are services here so we don't get to that point. But we have a collaborative program with Next Chapter that we'll also talk about a little bit later. But also, here we're expanding into Southern Colorado, which is super exciting. So the same services you see here that are offered in Mount Carmel in Colorado Springs are also available here in Pueblo through our Mount Carmel location here. Any questions on Mount Carmel before we go into SBA? No? Anything in the chat? No? Okay, awesome. So Small Business Administration, a lot of people see these 3 letters and they're like, ooh, it's so big. It is. It is the only administration that is specifically geared towards providing resources for small businesses. That's the biggest part about SBA. However, within the SBA, we have our Office of Veterans Business Development. That's what brings you the VBOC program. It's the Office of Veteran Business Development. This particular office is geared towards only providing those resources to veteran-owned small businesses. Abilities for you to do your veteran-owned small business certification, your veteran-owned disadvantaged, look, I'm going to say it all wrong. Service-disabled veteran-owned small business certification, service-disabled disadvantaged veteran-owned small business, and then we also have our women-owned service-disabled veteran-owned small business. And I always say the unicorn is maybe the women-owned, service-disabled, disadvantaged, veteran-owned small business in a hub zone. So there are different categories. And what this office does is make sure that all of the counseling, training, education, access to capital is all available for those businesses. So in saying that, I'm going to play a brief video so you learn a little bit more about what VBOC does and a success story that we have. If that is it not going to play? Really? I'll tell you what, I'm going to try it again. No, it's not going to play. Oh, that's great. So my apologies. For some reason, that video is not going to want to play for us. So what I will do is give you an example. So ultimately, this is a veteran-owned small business located in the state of Arizona. This particular veteran wanted to start expanding. He was doing really well. He was a prior NFL football player and started I'll say like a a cleaning business where they would go into large buildings like this one, and they would clean it out at night and make sure everything was taken care of. So at one point they decided, hey, you know what? I heard about SBA. I'm going to go ask for help. Right? I'm going to ask what resources are available for my business. I want to grow my business. We're doing great. We've grossed I think it was $1.2 million. And he's like, I've been in business. Now it's time to grow. Goes to SBA, starts understanding the opportunities for federal procurement or government contracting, and landed a grant or a opportunity, a contract in Denver, Colorado. So now he's thriving by utilizing the resources available through the SBA and the Office of Veteran Business Development. Now a thriving business with multiple contracts through the government. I won't say how much they're grossing now. I think at the time of this video, it was saying maybe 5 or 6 million. So growth is possible by utilizing resources. Now we know that's not everyone's story. Everyone's not going to grow a business into $5 million. Somebody might do it into 15 or 20, 100, or it might be 500,000, or it may not be successful. That's why we're here, right? Today we're going to talk about what all of those particular options could mean. And just know the VBOC is located in we cover every state as well as the territories. So Puerto Rico, the American Samoa, and Guam. We cover those areas as well. A lot of people are familiar with the $4.1 million expansion of SBA's VBOC. That didn't come to us. It came to the entire United States as an expansion from 22 locations to 28 locations. So whether you're here now, whether you decide to move back home to Illinois or Florida or wherever you go, we do have VBOCs to cover all of those locations. So we're going to get into our business tools and resources, right? Ultimately, the success story is great. That business was able to utilize resources and grow. How do you get to that point? Where are you at in your business idea, in your business startup, in your business's plan for growth, or in your business's plan for rebuilding? One of the tools we use at the VBOC is the Business Model Canvas tool. What it does is it kind of separates everything into categories. So we want to say if you're starting up, perfect model to use. If you're growing, it's a great model to use to go back through what your new intent is. Sometimes you may start a business and say, oh, I need to pivot and do this. For example, I am so tired of bringing up COVID examples, but it seems like so many examples. But you have a restaurant in COVID. The restrictions prevent people from being able to come in. You see your money go down. A lot of people said, hey, you know what? We're going to put this money into a food truck or into catering, and we're going to expand. But what happened at that point, they had to go back to this model and reassess what they were doing and figure out how to mitigate the gaps in service that they were having in making their revenue that they were used to in order to stay in business. So how do we start off? We're going to look at customer segments, right? So who are your customers? I tell you what, let's come up with the business. You mentioned, you got me, Sarah? Perfect. Thank you. We had a flower shop mentioned, right? Let's go with a flower shop. We're going to start your business, honey. So if we go to a flower shop, who are your customers? Who do you think your customers would be?
Morgan Wallen.
No.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I would say mostly
Okay.
moms.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. You said in which offices?
oh, just people like in an office.
Oh.
Just want to
Okay.
um,
Oh, you have an example? Who did you say? Boyfriends? Okay. Okay. So then who would you say your customers would be? Who buys flowers? Can I say a funeral home? A wedding planner? The thing is, this customer base, when you're starting your business, or even if you're rebuilding, like that restaurant that's saying, we need to figure out how to get some more money while the economy is going a little down as far as people going out to eat, right? So you start back and you look at your customer base and you're like, ooh, but do you see how wide this range of customers are? At some point, you have to be able to target it down and say, who am I really targeting? If I'm going to target the elderly or moms, first of all, if I'm going to target, I'm going to pick on moms. If I pick on moms, where are moms at? Why would they want my flowers? What are they doing? Now, if I look at it as we're targeting moms for Mother's Day, that gives us a more specific population to deal with, right? It also gives us a time of the year, and we can do a timeline to plan that out. But ultimately, we're asking, who is my customer? If we decide and we're going to say significant others, how are we going to target those significant others? Are we going to target jewelry stores? If you sell a ring, you need to sell flowers with it. You see what I'm saying? How are we going to do? He's like, ooh, that's a good idea. Only because you just got married, so it made me think of that.
We're gonna play Morgan Wallen's flower shop.
Yes. So the wedding planners, how are you going? Those are your customers. Are they the people getting married, or is it the people that are actually planning the weddings? You see what I'm saying? So you want to be specific in looking at your customers. Bring that wide group down. It's not saying you can't base it back out later. But initially, you want to target down on who you're looking for. So if we say funeral homes, that's my target, because people are always buying flowers for funeral homes. So how do you target that? Are they your customers as far, oh, I shouldn't have said that. As far as the families that are mourning, or is it the funeral homes that are providing that experience to properly do this? You know what I'm saying? So we're going to look at customers first. So then we're going to move on to value proposition. So we've identified different customer bases. If we're all starting flower shops, it doesn't matter because we all have different customers, right? So now we're looking at the value. Why are my flowers important to these people? So if I'm a small restaurant, I'm going to keep being that restaurant, right? If I'm that small restaurant, I need to increase my revenue, right? It's going down. I can't get the people in the door. I'm going to do a food truck, or I'm going to do catering. Why do they want the food truck? Why do they trust it? Why are they coming to get my catering, right? What is the value you're instilling in your customers? So we're going to pick on you for the boyfriend piece, right? So we got the ring and the flowers. Why would this guy want to get your flowers?
Selling a feeling or a gesture
Ah.
rather than just something.
So he's selling a feeling. So I'm thinking of those, every kiss begins with K, right? I'm not going to sing, y'all will hate that. But that's the feeling. Or, oh, they went to Jared's. I got goosebumps when I just said that, because they sold the feeling by, he went to Jared's, great idea. So for for your customer, what is the value you're giving them and giving the moms or the office building? The feng shui. Okay, I like that. So I went to the office building, right? Because you have all of these commercial properties coming up, right? The people are building these things, but they need landscaping. I just took your whole idea and just went straight to partnering with landscaping companies and the staging companies to make sure that it's landscaped and staged appropriately with real live flowers that give you that feeling of, ooh, beauty. I want to be in this building. I've got to work here. I've got to have that landscaping, because look at those flowers, all the native flowers. So they just stay perfect all year. Love it. But I just stole your idea. So what do you think? Why do they have to have it besides just the ambiance? Okay. So you're going to stand out. Awesome. Why do I want your flowers? Why is it valuable to me? I think yours was what? Boyfriends, wasn't it?
No.
Wait, you were the boyfriends. Yours was, I lost it. Okay. Oh, that's the men pulled together. They're like, we're going to stay focused on this one.
Only because of in my life, I've always been concerned by strong women that love flowers as well. But they really look into the history. This is native flowers. Southern Colorado is a beautiful place to be at, anyways. So the flowers we have could be considered desert plainsy. Succulent, for example.
Awesome. I planted succulents in my yard and they just have thrived. Yes, I love it. Native. So you're selling a feeling as well, but you're selling a feeling of history, a feeling of this is the preservation of the, what is the word? The agricultural history of this area. Okay. You're preserving our culture. See, each one has a different value for that customer. Which customer is looking for that value, right? So then, and convenience. Yes. You wanted to share on that one?
I'm
going to go back.
One of the things that my husband does that I really appreciate is that every time he comes home from the grocery store, he brings me fresh flowers. And he only goes to grocery stores that have flowers, so it's all in one go. So he's got his little honeydew list, and then he'll always surprise me with new flowers over whatever bouquet was just there.
Oh.
He's a good noodle.
So, I love it. So for the boyfriends, how are you making your flowers accessible to those customers at that exact moment that their mind would attach the feeling?
Be right next to the rotisserie.
Okay. Partner with a jewelry store, same building, same, or flyers, partnership, discounts. Buy a ring, get 20% off.
Actually, not only that, but so my husband got me a ring at Louis Grass, and
Mhm.
they actually talk about go here, here, and here for the freshest flowers if she likes these types of flowers.
Yeah,
go here,
referrals
here.
Huh.
are really powerful, so like, yeah,
Mm.
we can develop those partnerships with other industries as well.
So creating convenience by building strong relationships, right? So I'm going to maybe the visitor center for my town, I'm going to ask them about putting my native plants there. So when people come up and they're like, oh, these are beautiful, you're like, these are native to Colorado, specifically to the Pueblo area, because the history is this. We do landscaping too. Slide them a card with the discount coupon on the back. No, but those are things to make you think outside the box. So whether you're starting up fresh or you're looking to grow or rebuild, these are topics that you have to really iron out. We use this canvas because you can just doodle in it. You can just throw ideas in here, have the categories, set them up on your phone as you're traveling, pull up the notes app. Oh, because I just thought of something and it reminded me of this. Just keep this fresh in your mind. This isn't solid. It's not written in ink. It's written in chalk. You can erase it. You can adjust it, do whatever you need to do at whatever time. But the thing is, you mentioned networking. That goes into channels. Like, how are you going to reach these customers? We talked about the different categories, the stores, the jewelry stores, or the chambers, or the welcome centers, but how are you really reaching your customers? What are other ways you can reach your population in offices? Perfect. Digital marketing campaigns or a digital marketing plan. How do you make that work?
So like think of like who or which social media site you would use to target each person.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it was someone like my mom, I would use Facebook. If it was someone like us, I would probably use Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Then you have your TikTok, you have your Twitter, you have your Eventbrite. Everybody puts it on Eventbrite. I don't know if people actually, we can't go there. So, but Eventbrites they're still utilized, but then events, LinkedIn, there's different ways you can do it. What about traditional newspapers, business journals, the chambers being here fills my heart because you register with a chamber, you get to do your ribbon cutting for your grand opening or your grand opening. How are you advertising that? PR, go ahead.
We have Joseph in the chat would like to
Chime in, come on.
Hello, everyone. So I'm just going to throw a little bit of an example. I've used this in speaking with Dante some time ago and maybe a few others. But, there's a person who I used to work with when I was in the military up in Seattle, Washington, that she owned a very creative business, which was primarily a flower shop. However, what she did do is that she built an inline and drive-through espresso coffee shop in the business.
Wow.
Genius.
Welcome.
Is that when she would have people come in, that would, flower arrangements for, as an example, when we talked about a funeral, wedding, even for any type of bridal shower, if there was any type of baby shower, if there was any type of event planner that would come in because they're going to be doing some sort of a big shindig for a corporate event. They would come in, but she would always be giving them complimentary coffee, pushing the coffee business with the flowers. Anyone that would be going in to go get a coffee, i.e. boyfriend, husband, domestic partner, whatever the case may be, they would be going in going, crud, anniversary, crud, birthday, crud.
Yes.
Whatever the case may be. But she had quite the selection of cards, greeting cards, for all of those events, as well as small individual flowers, as well as large occasion basis, so on and so forth. And so it just fed off. When she networked with the most unusual of places, i.e. auto repair shops, so on and so forth, anything that was male driven.
Yep.
For the simple fact that males are more likely to forget. And as a result, it paid off huge dividends. What I'm really just trying to express is one simple thing. Don't be afraid to think outside of your normal parameters or box per se when it comes to networking in these particular areas. Now you're separating yourself from the husband.
Yes.
Now you're able to do something, provide a particular service in such a particular way outside the norm.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, that is the niche that separates you to be
From the rest.
successful and being something that's not successful.
Yes.
Having to be able to have that type of insight, that type of, for lack of a better expression, intentional fortitude,
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing that's going to keep you going and moving in the positive direction.
Yes. Thank you so much. Yes, that is what wraps this up, is thinking outside the box. Because one of the things about it is what separates your business from the others. And we're going to talk more about that in a few moments. But that's the thing. Look at relationships. Build your audience. How are you getting to your customers? We talked about digital marketing, relationships. I thought you had something. Oh, sorry. Okay. So yeah, that's what you're going to do. So what comes next? Revenue. How are you going to get the money to support these out of the box ideas, right? Or this plan that I have. I want to expand my flower shop. I'm going to say my restaurant. I'm going to go back to my food truck. I want to get the money to do this, but I know this is going to work. My regular customers are saying that they're going to continue to purchase from me. They would love for me to cater these events. I now have a flower shop that will help join me for these catering events, right? Those relationships can start building some additional capital, but how am I going to get the customers to come? What other benefits am I giving the customers, right? If I start this food truck, yeah, they get access to my food, but what makes it special? What makes it different, right? Those are the things you want to think about as far as revenue. We're going to talk more about, of course, lending opportunities, grants, and so forth in a moment. But you want to think about, if I cannot get a loan, if I get denied for that grant, can my business still succeed? What kind of partnerships, what kind of customers am I targeting? How am I planning this out? So where if I cannot get a loan, if I have to survive on my own, how can I still make that happen, right? So market analysis, right? What we just did kind of was a feasibility study. We're like, does this even make sense? And we realized that we can all be in the same industry, but have different niches that make it work, right? But then we're looking at within my niche, who are my customers? How are they going to find value in what I'm offering? And how am I going to make that value so valuable that they're going to consistently give me money that's going to keep my business going, keep that return client, that customer satisfaction level, right? So then what I got to do is narrow down my market. We talked about the flower shop. We identified the different categories. I want to show this to you as far as looking at the different, I want to make sure I don't hit the wrong button. I think I'm doing it. Nope. Oh, I'm messing it up. Okay, so we're going to look at this. If we look at pet grooming, boarding in Colorado, right? So a lot of people are like, hey, I want to do pet grooming. This is going to be a great business. This is just for the state of Colorado. So in 2022, the revenue, which is a different word from your gross total revenue, $364 million in 2022. However, they also say between 2017 and 2022, the annual growth was going to be 8.6%. Wow, that's not too bad, right? What does that mean? Annually, it's 1.5%. You're going to do well. That's what the numbers say. Remember, you have to have all of these things in place, knowing who your customers are, knowing how you're going to access your customers, right? In order to meet this. Everybody doesn't meet this number. But I want to point out something. Another thing you have to look at is the pet grooming and boarding. If this is 2015, going out to 2028, that industry spiked in what, 15, 16, 17? And then what does it do? It drops drastically. It goes back up a little bit, stays a little about the same, but then it consistently goes down. What does that mean? We might be able to do a market analysis on the flower shop that's going to be providing flowers to office buildings, right? And this may be what it looks like. What if the annual growth is 2%? Does that mean you want to cancel your business, or does that mean you need to put a contingency plan in place because you know your business is needed in your market. Remember, this is the entire state of Colorado. If we look at specific counties, what does it look like? Certain counties may be more leaning towards starting flower shops that are creating an environment or ambiance in these businesses because they are now doing a lot of construction to bring more people into their market. That industry growth may look better than a place that's already well developed and now they're looking at tech companies or something like that, right? So this is something we want to look at. This is actually a report that the VBOC can run. So when you sit down with our business counselor, this is what he does. We don't do this out initially, right? We want to make sure you have your business in place. You've got your legal structure together. You created your bail team, which would be your banker. We talked about lending. We're going to get more into that. You want to make sure you have an accountant that can manage this $364 million. But you also want to have insurance. What if you send flowers to somewhere and that person is allergic to that type of flower and didn't know and they have an issue? It's connected to the service that you provided. We want to make sure we're covering all bases. And then your legal team. How are you structuring your company? Are you doing it legally? Do you have a DBA? Are you doing intellectual property, trademarks, copyrights on what you're offering? Because the process you're using is totally brand new. It's completely innovative. You created a brand for yourself that has never been done before. Did you trademark that? One of the benefits of being in Colorado is so trademark process, 18 months, if you're good. But in the state of Colorado, you can trademark and start the process like $30. $30. And what that does is that blocks anybody else, at least in Colorado, from stealing your idea, intellectual property, whatever it may be. So we'll have more workshops on that. But once you have an idea of what your business is, who your customers are, what the value you're providing to them, through what channels and how much money you anticipate, this is like the start of your business plan. This is giving you an outline of where you're going in the next 5 years or so. So one of the things we want to talk about is our federal surplus property. This is specific for veteran-owned small businesses, right? You can get an airplane. No, you really can. So there is surplus property here that is available to veterans. You have to meet the eligibility. You have to pick it up on your own. But there is free property waiting there. We've got a gentleman that has a business. He's looking for trucks. Surplus property program. Whereas you're going to purchase that truck for $100,000, you might be able to get it for the surplus program for what, 10, 15, or less than that. So this is one of the benefits for veteran-owned small businesses. I know you've done a lot of research on this. Do you want to talk about?
I actually really love this program. Not only is it available to veteran-owned small businesses, but if you've got like a military, that you can put in like your sponsors information, and then you can create your own account and just browse through the site because it is a like military affiliated benefit in that way.
Military spouses.
But so one of the really cool things is a co-teacher of mine for business. He went on that website, and that's how he does his Christmas shopping. Like he found these really high-tech hiking backpacks, and he did have to get a minimum of 10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But he said that when he bought a minimum of 10 of these like high-tech hiking backpacks with all the pockets and zippers and everything for everything, it was still like less than he would have paid for like a brand new one at REI.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, is it a year or two behind? Absolutely, but it is so incredibly discounted. And I was playing around on the website when I was doing my research, and I was telling her that we should get a VBOC tank.
But you literally can. Yeah, but you literally can. So if you're starting a business, for example, we travel. Everyone has a laptop with their laptop bags. The bags, get them from surplus property. If you're in the building stage or the rebuilding stage, you've got a timeline. Why not see if it works? And then you're saving money by utilizing programs that are available for military connected, right? So all in this goes to the next part. What are the resources you need to deliver your value proposition? In order to provide this perfect experience, you want to make sure that you're utilizing resources like the surplus property program, right? Like the Veteran Business Outreach Center. You want to make sure you're using those resources. When you get to the point where you're looking at revenue, there's a lot of resources there. We talk about Colorado Enterprise Fund because they're one of our partners. but they assist with this. You do not have to do this process on your own. That's the biggest thing I can say is ask for help. Start with us, and we work with other companies or other small business development organizations that can assist. But then it's, what are the activities you perform every day to deliver your value proposition? How are you going to do your checks and balances to make sure that you're staying in line with this and providing your customers with that particular feeling? I want them to feel like they have made the perfect scenario with the ring and with the flowers and everything for this special day, right? How are you doing that? What are you doing on a daily basis to ensure that that takes place?
My input for that is think of
Yes.
you know how like you go in there and everyone's just like, and you're like, oh my gosh, I love Jesus chicken. This is amazing. Like having a good time. Everyone's just like, yes, thank you. Sure, man, my pleasure.
Yes.
Everything's just so I worked in Chick-fil-A in high school, and the first week is just like hospitality training.
Culture.
Those are your key activities. That is why you go back for the Jesus chicken.
So yes, I still want to try their pimento cheese. I just do.
Pretty good,
I want to try it. It is good? He's like, yeah, it's good. But that's the thing. What are your day-to-day activities? What is the culture you're building? Or if you're rebuilding, how did you lose the culture the first time? Or what happened? Or what do you want to add or change in your core values or your pillars that are going to be so important to make sure this happens on a consistent basis? What's going to have someone in Pueblo, Colorado teaching a VBOC course that's going to start singing Every Kiss Begins with K? That's going to make you remember your high school years when you remember the culture training was such a critical piece to that business that was my entire first week. What are you going to do on a daily basis to ensure that that happens? That goes back into the digital marketing plan. You don't have to do that every single day. You can actually sit down, create a plan for your social media, and schedule it out for the month. AI. I know ChatGPT was down yesterday. I didn't check the news to see what happened with that. But that is a tool you can utilize to automatically do all your social media stuff. They say that the computers will replace us. I'm stealing this quote from someone else. I don't remember who said it, but it's not the computers that are going to replace us. It's the people that are using those tools. Use the tools that are available to assist you so that you can create daily activities that are going to be more meaningful or more in value so that you can focus on the next step, right? So with that, who are your partners? Who are your partners? You already know you have daily activities you need to do. You know the resources that you need to use. Who are going to be those partners? We talked about K Jewelers. We talked about Jared's. We talked about the landscaping companies. We talked about the chambers. Like, who are these partners? Are they going to be partners at what level? We talk about revenue. Are these partners that are going to contribute financially to support the business? Are these partners that are going to provide collaborative resources that are going to generate revenue? You see what I'm saying? So we want to make sure we're looking at all of those pieces. Look at your social media platforms as your partners. They have algorithms that you have to meet in order to be successful for those particular things. So getting to know the ins and outs of everybody you engage with, even your banker, your insurance person, your legal team, know them in and out. You're trusting them with your dream. This is your dream. You have put all of this together. You've planned it out through your business model canvas. How is this going to make sense, right? So with that, we go to your cost structure. What are the important costs? So this is where we talk about the real meaning of revenue, right? So we're starting our flower shop. We have a building. How much? Yep. How much does it cost to keep that building open every month? $10,000? We're talking, I don't want to say rent. You may have bought the building. You still have to pay it off. Your loan, property loan. We're talking lights. We're talking maintenance. And then we're looking at, do you have staff that you're employing? How much does it keep to keep the flowers on a consistent basis fresh in your shop? Do you have a vehicle that you use? Gas, mileage? What does that look like? If we're spending $20,000 a month to keep our business open and running, and that did not include salary because I only put $10,000 in there extra. But if we're spending $20,000 a month to keep our business open, That's the reality. You are in the hole $20,000 every single month. You have to make enough money to cover those costs, cover anything else that's coming in, like that major order you just got for flowers to cover the location in Walsenburg, this new building in Walsenburg. That's going to cost you an extra 13 grand. So you've got to make $33,000 this month just to break even. That's the reality of running a business. Even if you say, I have an e-commerce business, I still have to pay for the maintenance of my website, the products and the inventory of what I'm shipping, the cost of shipping. You see what I'm saying? Like there's still fees that are included, even if you're e-commerce. You have to have these things in place. That is your starting number and you're already in the hole. So the best way to look at it is if I'm looking at this number, that's what I have to make every month. So as we're going through looking at our customers, looking at the value that what we're doing, either it's a product or a service that's bringing them value, the channels we're going to do to reach them, the revenue we think we need to generate through these relationships with our partners and resources, we've identified the activities we're going to do on a daily basis to make the culture of our business, that brand. And when you talk about brand, it even goes to the font that you're using on your letterhead, on everything. Your color scheme should have a specific number for that color of pink, that color of red. That is your brand. It's a brand packet. But you're looking at all of this. And then you're saying, I need to make sure that everything I'm doing makes sense so that I immediately am bringing home, I would say $50,000 a month. But that, of course, I gave you a very big building full of flowers with a whole staff, but you start off where you start off at. But look at those numbers realistically. What does it cost to operate this business, then to be able to provide this amazing service through this flower shop, right? Put the whole remote down because I got excited. All right. So with that, I want to provide you just some background. Keep in mind your resources. So you do have, SBA has lending sources, right? We do partner with Colorado Enterprise Fund. If you think of the SBA loans, they're low-cost loans. I will say that the state of Colorado has some disaster loans that are available right now. So if you were affected in the particular counties that had the drought or that have had flooding, that deadline is coming up. I don't know. Is anybody in the waiting? No? Yeah. So at 11:40. Okay. So you want to make sure that, I lost my whole train of thought. Yes, we have the resources like Colorado Enterprise Fund available. If you know that you have not been in business and you have not generated enough revenue to qualify for this particular low interest loan, there are still opportunities available for you for access to capital. We have lending specialists with the district office, which is in Denver. They cover all of Colorado. I know it sounds like, oh, it's still the SBA. But that's why we're here, to bridge that gap and let you understand that those resources are available. We have our lending partners, like I said, through Colorado Enterprise Fund. There are grant opportunities that come up from time to time. One, they may provide a grant to us as a VBOC to provide additional services to our clients. Or it may be, for example, I don't want to misspeak, but if a company has like a pitch night and they have a grand prize of $1,000, that might cover your digital marketing for some time. Whatever it may be, there are particular grant opportunities. Or maybe you have a tech company that meets the cybersecurity grant that's been posted through the Department of Defense. Let's put your packet together. Work with us, work with our resource partners so we can get you ready to apply for that grant and not get denied. Remember, a denial doesn't mean no completely forever. It's a no, not right now. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop. Community partners, we talked about that. Oh, look, I already said it. Exponential Impact. They are in Colorado Springs. However, they actually did the Southern Colorado Startup Week where we had events all through Kansas City, through Florence, here Pueblo, all over. So just know that we are here. Our resource partners are here. There were other organizations that we collaborate with to make sure that everybody, rural Colorado, agribusinesses, e-commerce businesses, everyone gets the resources that they need, deserve, and want. So generating sales and revenue. I know those three categories look a little weird together. And I did that on purpose because e-commerce generates sales and revenue, right? Be careful with your suppliers. A lot of people are on Amazon Marketplace and they're not realizing maybe they're importing or exporting internationally. That can include a lot of different taxes and requirements for your business. So please keep an eye on that. And in saying that, we have our Office of Export, Import, International Trade that is here to assist. They host events, they host workshops, they work with our clients one-on-one so we can make sure that you are doing it the right way. The United States is one of, if not the largest exporter in the world. The money is there, the opportunity is there, the federal contracts are there, and we're here to help meet those guidelines. Don't think because you have a flower shop that you will not qualify for a federal contract. I don't know if anyone has been to a commissary or the PX, but you see flowers, like people have their flower shops set up next to like Cold Stone. Those are federal contracts. If you've ever been to the bathroom on a military installation, and there was toilet paper in the stall, somebody had to supply the toilet paper to that installation to have in their bathroom, just like the soap. But there's also federal contractors that are actually creating the infrastructure for the roads that we drive on. They're creating infrastructure for the cybersecurity networks that are protecting our computers or our networks for our businesses, for your business. So I mean, from everything you can think of, they're federal contracts. Don't sell yourself short and don't tell yourself you can't do it. That's why we're here, is to help work you through that. We also have, if you think of research and development, we work with different organizations that do incubators or that like Exponential Impact, where they actually work with companies to give them the opportunity to do a pitch night, where we have other business owners and government contractors and so forth come in and listen to this. Listen to their pitches, listen to their innovative ideas that are going to change how we do things in the future. This is why I put these together, because they're ways to generate sales and revenue in ways that we sometimes don't think we can. But the opportunity is there. It is open to you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So in the state of Colorado, it's really cool. They have for SBIR and STTR, it's for innovation research on like technology, sustainability, and development overall. And if you've got this like really great, amazing idea, Colorado has state specific, it's called their FAST program.
Yep.
And they will help you like set everything up. They'll help you with like U.S. patent and trades. Let's say that you've got this very feasible plan of, hey, this is how I plan on exploring this, but I'm going to need this, this, and this. And this is my hypothesis to make A, B, and C happen. Then they are going to basically give you all of the tools to make it happen. You enter into a contract with them. You line out, this is how much money I need to make A, B, and C happen. This is my end goal. Like, let's say someone uses like a different type of glass to put on top of like tanks. So it's more like
bulletproof
safe and bulletproof. And they want to like develop it for a couple of years, but they've got this very feasible plan of, this is what I plan to do. This is my hypothesis. This is my testing process. Then that FAST program is going to help you get everything you need, the funding you need, the grants for it, the facilities for it. Yeah. So it's just a really cool thing. But as she said, you need to come at them with all of this information ready in hand, ready to present to somebody. Yeah. Sorry.
Nope, you're good. And the thing is that business model canvas, and what we can do is make sure we send everybody one in their email as well. So that way you can print it out and start utilizing it. Whether you're just throwing ideas on there or not, I mean, you can actually take it, enlarge it, put it on a dry erase board, and start just, as you're going through your business, just use it. It's a great tool, and it's going to help you get to where you need. By the time you get here, like Sarah said, you should be working with us, with our business counselor, or you should be working with another resource partner to ensure that everything is in line. So when you start applying for these grants or lending opportunities, that you are not getting turned away because you don't have your information and your plans together. So this is Earl Schaefer Jr. He is our business counselor. He does provide the individual business counseling. He has different programs that we utilize to provide different services. So for like Govology, maybe you want to do a federal contract, but you're like, I don't really know what it means, but I sell something that I know they could use, or I have a business I want to put in a shopping center on an installation, on the Air Force Academy. I want to provide this service out there. Maybe we just have you go to Govology and take a few of the seminars in there to give you a better understanding of what government contracting is. LifePlan is a program we can utilize to help you take this into an actual business plan format. And we can continue to evolve over time as you're learning, as you're thinking, as you're growing. We can use that. Value and industry need. We talked about the IBIS world. After you've kind of done your feasibility, does this even make sense? Then we'll talk about how do we look at our geographical area. We'll look at the demographics. Who is the audience that I'm really looking at? How many guys, what age group am I looking for to target for special events, to come get flowers when they go to Jared's or Kay and get their rings, right? We have the opportunity to those three different, I think there were three different like cutouts that I posted on here that said about pet grooming, 364 million. We're going to iron that down specifically to your market, to your demographic, and figure out what your plan will be moving forward. You will figure out. We will not do it for you, but we are here to guide you through the process. Earl is not going to do it for you. So when we get to the financial planning part, we have the information that we know what these people are going to need for eligibility for these loans, for these grants, for these federal contracts. He's going to help you get this to that point, right? But if we need to refer you out, say for federal contracting, then we can go to Apex Accelerators, which that's their niche. That's what they do. So if you're a business that's growing or rebuilding into federal procurement, you've got past performance. We just need to get your capability statements together, make sure all of this is ironed out and planned to go. And then we're going to have you work with Apex Accelerators to get you NAICS codes, make sure you're in SAM. For veteran-owned small businesses or service disabled, we're going to make sure that everything you have in SBA, because you know that the VetCert program moved from the VA to the SBA, we're going to make sure you've got SBA information matching what's in SAM. SAM will not update right now and will not reflect your self-certification. So we will help make sure that that is through. We're going to educate you on double checking your information so then you can have it verified and certified with the SBA. We don't do the certification, but we're going to help guide you through the process to make sure you can get it. Training and technical assistance, boots to business. We talked about this. On the installation, reboot, off the installation. So ultimately, we just did a reboot at Mount Carmel last week for National Veterans Small Business Week. It's the introductory course. This one's 2 days through the TAP program. So anyone that's transitioning out that qualifies through the TAP program to participate in the self-employment track, they're able to do boots to business. You can't do it, or they didn't have that when you transitioned out, join us for the reboot. We also have a track for military spouses. It's identical to the Boots to Business, but it is specifically for military spouses. That is coming up on November 29th. Also, Boots to Business for veteran beginning farmers and ranchers. Agribusiness is quite different from a flower shop. If you start deciding, hey, I'm going to purchase some property and really start doing my own, we'll talk about what that looks like as far as lending opportunities, as far as permits, as far as different codes for building certain things. We have all of that provided in a new platform or a new reboot for beginning farmers and ranchers. We also talked about VetCert. Please make sure that you do your certification. If you are self-certified through the VA, it's possible that you have a 1-year extension. If you actually have the certification that's through CVE, then you could potentially have, I think it's not called an extension and the word just lost, I just completely lost the word. But ultimately your information has rolled over, but you have to verify it. You have to make sure that you've completed SBA registration, applied for that. The process is rather short since it's no longer with the VA, it's with the SBA. It's more standardized. And so if you're looking to apply for a veteran-owned small business, service disabled, it's all in the same platform. So it makes it so much easier. Now, please keep in mind, depending on what certification you're applying for, they're going to require different things, right? Different verification documents. So we can talk about that as well. That page shouldn't have been there. And Sarah here is our VBOC instructor. So would you like to talk about?
Oh gosh.
I don't want to talk about you when you're standing here in the room.
Military members, we, as she mentioned, Boots to Business, the reboot, military spouses pathway to business, and beginning for. So we actually got the idea from our New York chapter for VBOC, for veteran farmers and ranchers, because it had really taken off there, and the before it was like a 6%, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
of veteran-owned small businesses were for farmers and ranchers, and they upped it to 9 just by rolling out this different version of the Boots to Business. We also attend like institutions of higher learning, so we have just started our process with UCCS as it is like in our local area, and we do plan on expanding to different colleges and different institutions of higher learning. We've got our workforce center that we work with. Right now, it is just the Pikes Peak Workforce Center, but we do still plan on expanding. As we've said, we are brand new. We've worked with different chambers of commerce, like we are here today, U.S. Patent and Trade Office, and federal procurement processes. And one of my favorite team ups is actually with Next Chapter, and it is regarding behavioral health. So it is all about mental health and entrepreneurship, because not only do we talk about how to handle your stress as a veteran while handling a business, but you can also find burnout within your employees and prevent that. So that is probably, that's my brainchild. I love it. She helped me really develop it into a class, and I'm very proud of it.
Yes.
And then we do a lot of collaborative workshops and series. So we will throw together different workshops for vet cert. We will not do the actual vet cert for you, but we will show you how it's done, basically.
Yeah.
So
thank you. And we're glad to be here. Sarah has a lot of things coming up in the future, so keep checking our website. If you do have any questions, you can email us at vboc@mountcarmelcenter.org. Our phone number is 719-309-0339. Or you can go to our website, and I encourage you, go to our website to register at veterancenter.org/VBOC. It may be easier to just scan the QR code. We did fall in love with the little dinosaur from Google, sorry. But you can just scan the QR code with your phone. It'll take you directly to the link to our e-center to register. You'll also see our training events calendar there as well. Keep it. We are updating. You just saw Sarah's slide. She's updating that constantly every day, not just for Colorado VBOC events or training events like this, but also for Mount Carmel Veterans Service Center. So things that are coming up for the family, definitely through the holidays. We've got a number of events coming up to just get the entrepreneur, the business owner out of the house and have some fun and enjoy time. Self-care, as Sarah mentioned, her baby is our health, mental health and entrepreneurship. So we want to enforce that. We want to make sure that we're having a healthy balance, right? But definitely feel free to scan that QR code, and that is it. So I'll leave the QR code up. So thank you everyone for coming in today to join us for this Veterans and Small Business. We hope this was fun, interactive and engaging, and got the wheel spinning. Just think outside the box and ask for help. Know that there are resources here available to you, and thank you.